Hello everybody, welcome, take a look around you. Feel that energy? It's the vibrant pulse of freedom. We see it in the joyful parades, the families gathering under the summer sun, the rhythm of the music that makes you want to get up and dance. This is Juneteenth. It's a day of cookouts and community, of red soda pop and remembrance, a celebration of life and liberation that fills the streets and our hearts. It's a day that feels like a homecoming, a collective sigh of relief that has echoed through generations. But this day of joy, this beautiful, powerful day of jubilee, was born from centuries of struggle. Its roots run deep into the soil of a painful past, a past that we must never, ever forget. Before the celebration, there was suffering. Before the dancing, there was bondage. And before the news of freedom could be shouted from the rooftops, it was delayed, held back, stolen for 2.5 long years. It's a story of resilience, of the unshakable human spirit. Today, we're going to journey back together. We're going to uncover the layers of this profound American story. We'll explore not just what Juneteenth is, but what it truly means. For the people who first heard those words of freedom, for the generations who kept the story alive, and for every single one of us today. Because understanding where we've been is the only way we can truly know where we are going. So, come on this journey with me. So what is this day we call Juneteenth? When you peel back the layers of celebration, what do you find at its core? At its heart, Juneteenth, a blend of the words June and 19th, is America's second Independence Day. It marks the moment when the promise of freedom, a promise made years earlier, finally reached the last enslaved African Americans in the Confederacy. It is a day that represents the end of one of our nation's darkest chapters. It's not just a date on a calendar, it's a symbol. It's a symbol of a delayed dream finally realized, a testament to the enduring hope for liberty and justice for all. It's more than just history. It's a living, breathing tradition. It's a day for education, a time to reflect on the long, hard road to freedom and the work that still remains. But it's also a day of profound, soul-stirring joy. It's about celebrating Black culture, Black resilience, and Black achievement. It's about honoring our ancestors, the ones who endured the unimaginable, by living our lives with purpose, with pride, and with an unwavering commitment to progress. Juneteenth is a powerful reminder that freedom isn't a single event, but a continuous journey we are all on together. Now let's go back in time. The year is 1863. The Civil War is raging, tearing the country apart at its seams. In the White House, President Abraham Lincoln takes a monumental step. He signs the Emancipation Proclamation, a document that declares that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are, and henceforward shall be free. You can just imagine the hope that document represented. It was a beacon, a promise of a new dawn for millions. The news spread, but not everywhere. The war continued, and the proclamation's power was limited to areas under Union control. For 2.5 more years, that promise remained just out of reach for so many. Think about that. 2.5 years. While others were beginning to taste freedom, over 250,000 people in Texas, the most remote of the Confederate states, were still living in bondage. Their freedom had been declared on paper, but it had not been delivered in person. They toiled under the Texas sun, unaware that their chains had been legally broken. This delay wasn't just a footnote in history. It was a profound injustice, a theft of time, life, and liberty that can never be repaid. Then came the day, June 19th, 1865. Picture the scene. Galveston, Texas. The salty air is thick with humidity and uncertainty. Union ships are in the harbor, and into this charged atmosphere rides Major General Gordon Granger. He stands on a balcony, or perhaps at the Ashton Villa, we're not entirely sure. But what we do know is that he held a piece of paper in his hand. It was General Order Number 3. And as his voice rang out, reading those words, the world shifted on its axis for every single person listening. The words were simple, direct, and earth-shattering. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. Can you feel the weight of that moment? The sudden silence, the indrawn breath, and then the explosion of emotion. Tears of disbelief, shouts of pure, unadulterated joy, people falling to their knees in prayer and gratitude. For over 250,000 souls, this wasn't just news, it was a rebirth. It was the moment the abstract promise of freedom became a breathtaking, life-altering reality. That moment, that first reading, was the birth of Juneteenth. The very next year, in 1866, something beautiful and powerful began to take root: the first Juneteenth celebrations. But this wasn't just a party. Oh no, it was so much more than that. In a world that was still rife with racism and hostility, celebrating freedom was an act of defiance. It was a bold declaration of humanity and personhood. When public parks were denied to them because of the color of their skin, these determined communities pooled their money to buy their own land, emancipation parks, places where they could gather, celebrate, and be free without fear or prejudice. These early celebrations became sacred traditions. They were filled with prayer, with families reuniting, and with elders sharing the story of that day in Galveston, ensuring the memory would never fade. And of course, there was food. Barbecues that filled the air with the smell of hope, and the symbolic red foods and drinks, strawberry soda, red velvet cake, representing the bloodshed and resilience of generations. The music, the storytelling, the laughter, all of it was an act of cultural preservation. It was a way of saying, we are here, we survived, and we will not only endure, we will thrive. For over a century, Juneteenth remained a cherished yet largely regional observance. It was kept alive by Black communities, passed down from one generation to the next, a grassroots movement fueled by pride and memory. It was a Texas holiday first, then slowly, other states began to recognize its importance. But for most of America, the story remained untold, a hidden piece of our shared history. It took a long time for the nation to catch up to what Black Americans had known all along, that this day mattered to everyone. Then came the summer of 2020. Our nation was in a moment of profound reckoning with racial injustice. The protests that swept the country brought a new, urgent focus to Black history and the ongoing struggle for equality. Suddenly, people were asking, what is Juneteenth? The story, once confined to specific communities, exploded into the national consciousness. And this groundswell of awareness led to a historic moment. On June 17, 2021, President Joe Biden, surrounded by advocates who had fought for this for decades, signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, finally making it a federal holiday. A day of Black liberation was now, officially, an American holiday. So now that Juneteenth is a federal holiday, what does that mean for you on a practical level? Well, it means the nation officially pauses to observe the day. On June 19th, you'll find that federal government offices are closed. This includes things like the post office, so no mail delivery, and federal courts. Most banks will also be closed for the day, as they typically follow the federal holiday schedule. The stock market takes a pause as well. This is a significant step, placing Juneteenth on the same level as other major national holidays. It's a day of rest and reflection that is now a paid holiday for millions of federal employees and many in the private sector. Now, what about private businesses? That can vary. Many companies, especially larger corporations, have chosen to recognize Juneteenth as a paid holiday for their employees, giving them the day off to honor its significance. However, many retail stores, restaurants, and other private businesses may remain open. The most important thing is that its status as a federal holiday ensures that the story of Juneteenth can no longer be ignored, prompting conversations in workplaces and communities across the country. So why, after all this time, does Juneteenth still matter so deeply? Because it is so much more than a history lesson. It's a mirror that reflects the very soul of America, our triumphs and our failures, our stated ideals, and the long, difficult struggle to live up to them. It reminds us that freedom and justice have never been guaranteed. They have always had to be fought for, demanded, and protected. It connects the past to the present, showing us that the echoes of slavery and the fight for civil rights still resonate in our society today. Juneteenth is a promise. It's a promise we make to the ancestors who endured, to the elders who remembered, and to the children who are learning this story for the very first time. It is a promise to keep striving for a more perfect union, to continue the work of dismantling systemic barriers, and to celebrate the incredible richness and resilience of Black culture. It's a day to recommit ourselves to the ideals of liberty and justice for all. Juneteenth is not just Black history, it's American history. And it's a promise we must all work to keep alive, today and every day. The story of Juneteenth is a powerful one, isn't it? It's a story of delayed hope, defiant joy, and the enduring power of the human spirit. It teaches us that even when freedom is declared, the work of making it real for everyone is a journey that continues. It's a journey of education, of empathy, and of action. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me today, for opening your hearts and minds to this essential American story. It's in the sharing of these stories that we find our common ground and our shared humanity. By understanding our history, we empower our future. If this video moved you, if it taught you something new, or if it deepened your appreciation for this day, please help us share this message. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future explorations. Your support helps us continue this important work of bringing stories that matter to light. It truly means the world to us. And now I want to hear from you. What does Juneteenth mean to you? How do you celebrate or honor the day? And what other stories, what other pieces of history or culture would you like for us to explore together? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice is a vital part of this community, and your curiosity inspires everything we do. Thank you for watching. Be well.